Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keel's Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.
Helping you build freedom without losing your edge. This is the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels.
So it's not every day that you have the opportunity to speak to someone who was a former corporate executive turned business owner, who, by the way, also has lived on 3 different continents. I think that's absolutely amazing. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to today's conversation the founder of VP Wealth and Freedom, Mr. Damien Pautot. Damien, welcome to the show, man.
Hello, Billy. Thanks a lot. A pleasure and an honor to be in your podcast, my friend.
Hey, you know what? I am looking forward to it. You have such a phenomenal story. Everything that I've read, the things that I know, I am absolutely sure that you are going to add massive value for our high earning corporate executives who are still trying to figure out, you know what? I like my job. And at the same time, I got this idea that there's probably something else that I could also be doing. So your insight, I know, is going to be absolutely unique. It's one of the things I talked about just in the very beginning. I think it's 3 different continents you've lived on. If you could help us understand a little bit about that, and if you could also tell us a little bit about your backstory. How did you get to this point, and where are you?
Okay, so thanks for the presentation. Also, and now we'll go deep on that. But yeah, it's good to be with you there, because we know now each other since a long time. But as you mentioned, 3 different continents. French, you can recognize the fantastic and wonderful accent. But yeah, after working many years in France, I decided to move to Spain in 2014 because I could not handle anymore just like being surrounded by the same people in Paris, and I needed to discover the world and know something different. You did that also, if I know you correctly. And I decided to go to Barcelona, which it was an opportunity to work in hardware. And yeah, it was really great. Honestly, really great lifestyle. You know that, you live there. And it was fantastic, honestly, as a foreigner, to discover international culture, because it's a big hub. So I had the opportunity to work with amazing people in really great companies. First one, HP, and after moved to SAP, where we met in Barcelona. And honestly, it was a wonderful experience. Honestly, best school to learn how to sell, how to discuss with customer, especially to discuss with CXO. So this is right now why we are here. It's because we have learned all that in SAP in the past, having the possibility to discuss with business owner who owns family company till more than multi-billion dollar value. So yeah, honestly, it was absolutely fantastic to have that. And yeah, so corporate world, corporate career, had the opportunity to move from individual role to managing role. And after had the great opportunity to go to another continent, China, like Asia, but China in specific. And it was fantastic experience. I recommend to everybody to go there, because we have the tendency to criticize a bit what we don't know. But honestly, we have a lot to learn from them, because they are extremely hard worker. And I discovered people who, when they know you, when they trust you, they really like give everything for you. So it was unbelievable to work there. So I was managing a commercial organization there to try to improve the business and get a better footprint for the company. So it was really interesting. And after, because my wife is Mexican, so we are both together, like with experience with personal relation with foreign people. So obviously, after many years, my wife living outside Mexico, she told me like, now let's go back to my country. This is that, or this is that. Okay, I think I have no other options. So we moved to Mexico. I was still working in SAP, but you mentioned about the corporate world and about being an executive, and honestly, you love the work. For me, I have loved my career. I have mentioned that. I learned so much. It's the same for you. You met great people. You built your capabilities. And yeah, but you're really high performing. You reach your KPI. You earn a lot of money and it's great. But there is a moment when I arrived here, I was managing a global team and I was working 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. because I was managing people all around the world. From in the morning, talking with the people in Australia, after Asia, after Europe, after US and Latin America. So man, I was working from home. I was not seeing my wife and my wife was pregnant. So I was like, man, there is a moment if the baby arrives, I'm still working like that. I will never be able to enjoy my baby, even if in corporate life you can have paternity leave. It's really good, depending on every country. But yeah, there is a moment. It's like you ask yourself this question, and I was gonna turn the famous 40 years old milestone. So you're not there. You're not there anymore, but you live that. So yeah, this was like one of the turning points that I had, and it was the question: okay, what do I do? Do I keep working in corporate life? I will keep growing in the career ladder, but at what cost? And in my life, my dream was to build my company, to be able to grow the company and to give that to my kids in the future. So for me, it was like, okay, man, 40 years old, I will have a baby. I will leave the corporate world and I will build my business. And yeah, this is why I left the company and yeah, now I'm here and I'm really happy about that. It's the best decision I made, even if it was quite challenging. Let's be frank and honest, but we will discuss more deeper about that, I guess.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that, and of course we can, we'll talk on the topics that you want to talk about. But one of the things that you mentioned, right? Because I think about the times that I worked either at a local level. So when we were at you mentioned Spain. I worked for 7 years in the Spanish market. I also worked in a regional role where I had a role where I was managing a line of business, about $100 million business across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And then also too, at a global business. And you just talked about something that made me think about those days when I would have phone calls in the first thing in the morning with Asia, and I would finish with people that were on the West Coast of the US. But I want to talk about maybe something that's even deeper than that, because yeah, of course, when you're managing a global business and you have this responsibility and in the sales or commercial responsibility, you have that. But talk to me, share with us about, okay, the normal hours, maybe it was, you said 5 to 10. How much of that was because you wanted to continue to overperform against the targets that were set for you versus you could have probably done it a little bit less time? Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Honestly, you're totally true. It could have been possible to work less. After, as you mentioned, it's like the mindset of a high performer, a perfectionist also, who wants to always be the best. But, this is a competitive mindset. It means you have that in sports. You have that also in your life for everything that you want to do. You want to go to the gym. You want to be the best in the gym. You want to go to the soccer field. You want to be the best in soccer field. You're working at the company, you want to be the best at the company. And because people trust you, they pay you for something. So the average job, this is not for you. You want to always give more because this is how you are. And of course, I was in China, I was at 7:30, 8 a.m. at the office and I was leaving at 9 or 10. And same for after. So after it's more a habit, So you don't think yeah, I'm working too much. No, for me, it's yeah, this is something normal, like everybody should do. But this is because it's your mindset also. And at the end, yeah, maybe I could have done, and let's talk about the Pareto law. I could have done 80%, of what I was doing in terms of time to get the 80% of achievement, which could have been higher than some other people. But for you, you always give 120. So yeah, this is something that on when you are in your early career, this is something that, yeah, you don't ask yourself if it's good or not for yourself because you like that. But there is a moment when you have your wife, you want to build a family, you have major event happening in your life. You ask yourself, okay, is it worth it to work all the time 120% for somebody? Even if, again, you're well paid, you learn a lot, you meet a lot of really interesting people, you grow your network also. But yeah, what do you want to do for the long term? Do you see yourself like that in 20 years? Yes, maybe in 20 years, you have a $1 million paycheck per year. Yeah, it could be fantastic. But what did it cost you? And I remember a discussion I had. I can mention somebody.
Yeah,
It's a friend that you know also. He was a coach in our previous story, Harry Farrer. Maybe you remember him.
Yeah. Shouts out to Harry.
Yeah, fantastic person. I love him. It's a great friend. And he told me once, I remember, what do you want in your life? Do you want to be extremely successful in the career ladder? And you will be, because I know you. But there are some chances that at the end, your wife will not accept that and you will end divorce. And yeah, it made sense many years after that.
Yep.
So for me, it was like some personal questioning that I had. And finally, it leads to also that. And we discussed about that, but one turning point of my life is in 2021, we lost our daughter. So for me, it was extremely difficult, and for my wife, obviously. And it was like, okay, what will I do in the future? So that's why for me it was, okay, I want to get also my business to let us, a trace in this world. How can I impact more? Not only working for a company, but getting my business to impact the people. And that's why for me it was real estate is a passion. We will discuss about that, but it was also regarding sustainability. And for me, it was, what can I do to mix this kind of thing to build a business, let that to my kid in the future, but also impact the people positively and having a meaningful life. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess first and foremost, I want to say that, I appreciate that you are sharing with us and allowing us to be in your life and understanding more about what's taken, what has happened for you in life to get to this point, to help you to have that perspective. And you talked about something that's really interesting because you, as you share with us words of wisdoms that you received from coworkers that were further ahead of you, or you can potentially consider them mentors, life mentors. But you talked about something that's really interesting, and I want you to making sure that our listeners hear. But you talked about there's a certain point in your career, like in the beginning, it sounded like you were really focused on income. And then as your life started to change and your family dynamics change, you talk about children. It sounds like towards the latter part of your corporate career, at least, you were really not only thinking about income, but also thinking about impact and the impact that you were going to be able to have on your family, your children, your local community. Can you talk to us a little bit about kind of how that happened, or what some of those feelings, how that happened over time?
And we some people mentioned that, you mentioned that sometime in your podcast, you have the return on impact and the return on time, which is like two interesting notion in my point of view. And yeah, of course, when you are really competitive, you want to be the first, you want to earn some money, you want to earn as much money as you can, that your time allows you to. But after you only focus on this part, of course, money is extremely important. The people who tells you it's not, they're liars. But it allows you to buy you time, because time is the most valuable asset we all have.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to earn a lot of money. I want to do that. But after, what will I do? And it was, okay, I'm going to invest. And thanks to our discussion, thanks to all the podcasts I was listening to, thanks to all the books I read, I built my strategy of investing. And thanks to also the family of my wife, which was entrepreneur and investing also. So it built my mindset and also my structure and my strategy to allow me to invest. But of course, after, what do? You just work crazily to keep increasing your income, to after pay again that, but you keep in the same path. No, after the question, what do you want to do in your life? How you want to be remembered by your family, by your friends, by the people. And one of the books that I love so much, it's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
And one of the chapter is start with the end.
Yep. Start with the end in mind. Yep, for sure.
Start with the end in mind. So put yourself in, you are at the ceremony in the graveyard and you're dead. And people are doing the oration and talk about you. What do you want them to tell about you? And after you built everything to arrive to this point. And for me, it resonated. It was like, okay, how will I be remembered in the future? Yeah, somebody really competitive. Okay, somebody who works a lot, really disciplined. Okay, this is my character. But after, okay, work all his life in corporate world. And I was like, maybe this is not what I want. I want to have an impact. And I remember my dream when I was like a teenager, it was like building houses, building community. I love the game SimCity. I love this kind of stuff. And for me, it was, okay, now this is real world. We can do that. So the great point also is when you're in Mexico and you have visited Mexico, you're American, and we have a great mindset in America and Mexico. We are fighting a lot, the both country with many points, but we are extremely close and similar in many points. You know that. Yeah. So what I love the most of your culture, which is totally the opposite of French, especially in Europe, is the entrepreneur mindset. You can achieve everything you want if you want to. You want to build a business? Go for it. It will work. It's not like, yeah, I think about that. No, let's do it. And I love this mindset. And my wife's family brought me this mindset. And I think I was like, okay, now you like real estate. It's a passion for investing. You like sustainability. Here, what can we do? And I saw how it was in Mexico. Like we have 15 years delay in sustainability. There is like the real estate market is still cheap and the quality is not really fantastic. Now I need to go 100% on that. And yeah, and it was a decision because I want to be remembered as having an impact in the community also. So improving the life quality, the home quality for the people here, and improving also the planet to let a better world to our kids. And from my small window, when I will give that to my kid in the future, the business, I want to tell him, look, I put all my energy to do that. I give it to you. You do whatever you want. But for me, it was a way to give you a better world.
Yeah, I love this, the feeling of the impact that you want to be able to make, the experience that you want to share. I mean, you talked about Harry sharing an experience with you before, and now you're talking about also this experience and the work that you're doing to be able to share with your children, right? And so I think that is one of the things that is fantastic, and know that you have the long-term view in terms of being able to share ideas, making impact. And I'm just curious, how much of that do you think comes from your ability to and I just want to put it out there because I know that they're like, you're a very unique person. At the same time, there are other people that have also decided to follow their curiosity. You left the comfort of your home to live in a new country. And then you went from a different country to a different continent. And now you've just done it again. What role do you believe your curiosity and ability to follow your curiosity has helped you to continue to make a positive impact on others, and also continues to move you towards being more of a servant leader, let's say?
For the curiosity related to moving to different places, I had the real privilege that my parents loved to travel when I was a kid. So it was like, it allowed me to discover many different cultures and many different people. So for me, in my life, it was always, okay, I want to know new people. I want to know new culture. And sometimes, let's be honest, you arrive in China, it's a cultural shock for a European, even if you have lived in a different country, but it obliges you to adapt. This is always the challenge. How will I adapt to this challenge and move ahead? It's again like fail forward. I know you love this also. And for me, I did not like to fail when I was a kid because my parents are doctors, high individual, like really high skill. You cannot make mistakes.
Yeah.
This is not allowed for them.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the culture I had. No mistakes is allowed.
Yeah.
But finally, when you arrive in the corporate world, it's fail forward. The more you try, the more you will fail, but the more you will succeed in the future. And for me, I see that in the personal part is like discovering new people, adapting to new culture all the time is challenging. That after, okay, I have succeeded in Spain, I have succeeded in China, I want to succeed now in Mexico, not in the corporate life, but in the entrepreneur life. And I know with everything that I learned from the past, I learned from people, from you and other friends that I know who are entrepreneurs. I know I'm in the right path. It's extremely difficult. You know that? Been there, done that. The first 6 to 8 months were with so much struggle, like even questioning if it was the right decision. But when you start to have like positive signs, like the green light arriving in the beginning of the path, it's fantastic. Or the feeling, because you are building something by yourself. For yourself and for your family after. So the curiosity brought me there, because if I hadn't this level of curiosity, I would have stayed in the corporate world. It would have been fantastic. For me, it's a great life. And I could have spent my entire career there. After it's more like, okay, again, curiosity, culture, want to have a bigger impact and want to build a family, a company to give to my kids. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So that is actually, and I know I asked the second part about the servant leadership, but I actually want to take back that second part of the question, because you're sharing like a lot of really vulnerable spots. And I know that you are like a massive high achiever during your corporate career. And you made a decision that someone go, as we started this conversation out, but you just touched on something that I think a lot of people don't really want to talk about. But when you have led teams, led an organization in your corporate career, you have this curiosity to do something outside of that space, right? You want to continue to perform in your role and build something on the side. There's this moment that you struggle. And I don't think a lot of people want to talk about that. It's not easy, right? And it's different because it's now outside of the constructs of a formal enterprise that is a multi-billion euro dollar type of enterprise. Talk to us about the moments when because I know I've been through my struggles, man, for sure. We can go back to a number of different episodes and talk about them, whether they were on the personal side, on the professional side. But talk to us about that professional struggle that you run into for the first time when you're outside of the corporate role, and what you have been able to do to continue to maintain progress over perfection.
So you mean progress over perfection in my now life as an entrepreneur?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. And after we'll go back to the thought leader, the question, because
sure.
I will answer to you right after. Honestly, life of an entrepreneur is totally different as a corporate life. And you're struggling every day because you don't have anymore a team around you that you manage, a team above you that also give you guidance. Because no matter if you are a professional, if you are a perfectionist, if you are self-driven, you also need guidance to know where you're going for the next year to 3 years. Okay. And when you're an entrepreneur, there is nobody there. You are by yourself. It's like I like the image of your drop in the middle of the ocean. And it's like, okay, you don't see anything. Where do I go? What do I do? What direction? How do I swim? How much time do I swim? Like, and this is this kind of thing every day. Okay. And at the beginning, I was struggling so much because you're under pressure regarding the money. And even if you prepare yourself for this moment, I had investment, but there is a moment you don't have your paycheck arriving at the end of the month. And you're never
Will you say that? Will you say that one more time, please? You don't have what at the end of the month?
You don't have your paycheck at the end of the month, and you're never ready for that. No matter how prepared, when the money is not arriving on your bank account and you start to burn your reserve, your fund that you have acquired in the last years, damn, this is a lot of pressure, especially when we had a baby arriving in Mexico. This is the same as the US. Everything, you need to pay everything. In Europe, this is fantastic. You have social security. You don't pay anything at the hospital. You don't pay the education for your kids. Here, man, everything. And our baby had some issue at the beginning. He had oxygen. He had like intensive care. So for me, I was drowning the money out of the bank account. And I was like, man, how will I do right now? I start everything at the same time. I was struggling so much. And after it makes you make some mistake because you are thinking, I will do that. I will do that. I will do. And you're trying to build different bridges, which we know, even if you studied that, you know, it's not working to build different bridges at the same time. We need to build one strong bridge, two in the best case, but no more. And this is something that you tend to forget. So for me, it took me months to, focus on something. It was like, okay, now let's rewind. Where are you good at? What is your core strength? And for me, I know it was real estate, of course, my business, sustainable. I love that. But after, in terms of customer, what kind of customer I am used to work with? I was not used to B2C since more than 10 years. And I was expecting at the moment to work in B2C for selling something, but I'm not good at that. There are people who are way better than I do. And it was, okay, where are you good at? I am good with talking with CXO of company. And I'm good with talking with people who earn a decent amount, a good amount of money and who wants to invest because I was there. So for me, it was like, okay, CXO, I know I can talk to them about CapEx, OpEx, how to save money, in how much time they will have an ROI. With investors, okay, we have this kind of investment. We put the money this kind of time. You have this kind of return on investment. How do you feel comfortable about that? And it was my sweet spot. And I shift and I was like, okay, focus only on that. And this is only from this moment where I started to really have the green light arriving and having some project and some people coming back to me because I knew exactly what I want to do. So I could communicate with the people on where I was good at. Oh, yeah.
And so it's interesting, right? Because you're looking at a moment where you hit a struggle, like a deep struggle. And then there's a high sense of self-awareness. And through that self-awareness, taking an understanding of what are your strengths, leaning into your strengths, right? And this is one of the greatest books that I ever read, a guy named Marcus Buckingham, First Break All the Rules, as you talk about leadership. And it is about, rather than trying to fix what's broken, lean into works well, really well, and then be able to drive the maximum amount of results. And so I appreciate you sharing that with us. And also too, because we haven't really talked about it that much, but before we start to kind of move latter part of the conversation, everybody picks something different. When you've got that curious voice that's kind of calling you, Damien, and you're like, wait, I'm just trying to do my day job. I really like it. I want to work more hours, get more outputs. And there's something that was calling you. And for you, that vehicle, at least to date, has been in the real estate space. So talk to us a little bit about while you're overperforming in your day job, this little voice is calling you and you want to continue to do well what you're doing in your day job, but that has ultimately led you to being a business owner. So talk to us a little bit about how did that start from you finding your vehicle in real estate, and how has that developed? No pun intended, by the way.
We always say behind somebody who succeeds, there is always somebody who pushed him or her. For me, in this case, it was my wife. And honestly, without her, we would not be in the situation where we are right now. I was already working in corporate world in some years. We are starting to make good money. She was working also. And at the end of the month, we were saving zero. Like we were spending everything. While she had some friends who were earning way more than us, but who were able to save and to buy, some property. And I was like, how is it? She was, how is it possible? So now let's put us like an objective of buying something and investing. And it was, okay, where do we invest? Because I was also a bit investing in stocks at some moment, and we will go deeper on that also, why I am mostly only on real estate now. And she was like, okay, let's buy a flat in Mexico. And I was like, how are we going to do? Okay, we put all our economy, and after we save that amount of money and we do a budget every month. And then we were able to pay a full flat in 14 months, like without any credit, and at the end, we are like, damn, we are able to do something. So it's possible. And finally it was okay. Now, the first investment, honestly, it was, a leap of faith. We did not study so much the market. It was more a friend who was developing. So after that, I was like, okay, now let's make it more professional how you are in your corporate life. And after I started to analyze markets, so invest in Spain, invest in Mexico, and it was more in a professional way of doing it. But for me, it's really what made me go for real estate. It was a way of investing the money we're having to build patrimony and wealth for the future, because you have so many people that earns 200, 300, 400K per year. But at the end, they have zero at the end of the year because they are spending everything. So this is something that you also need to educate yourself. And I'm a heavy reader, and I love that. And for me, it helps me so much. So yeah, if I have some advice for people, it's also like read a lot, educate yourself. But after, it's like right now I'm rereading Atomic Habits, and he talk about motion and action. Just reading is motion. Taking action leads you to the great path. So this is also something important. And just to go back to the thought leader, because we did not answer to this question. For me, I had the luck to listen to great people who motivated me. You were one of them. I have some other mentor. I have people also that I don't know, but inspired me. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. This is my favorite athletes, and Michael Jordan gave all my favorite quotes. But it's like, one is never quit, because if you quit one, it becomes a habit. And I remember when we lost our daughter, I droned so much, which is something that can happen, And I was like, what do you want to do? You want to go back to, okay, being somebody successful, working a lot, and showing also to people that no matter what happened, you can remain positive and build something, or you want to quit everything. And I was like, okay, this is a tragic event in my life. How do I turn that positive? And I was expecting, like, in the long term, because right now I'm just at the beginning of the entrepreneurship career, but I hope in 20, 30 years from now, I will be able to inspire people such as people inspired me, and tell them, like, guys, no matter what happened to your life, turn that to positive. And you can have an impact. You can do something. You want to stay in corporate world, but you can do something more. And you want to go to entrepreneurship, you can do it. You will have a lot of struggle. You will have a lot of breakdown, but it will be okay. You will succeed in the long run, because there is always somebody who has gone through worse thing than you have, and he still can make it. So you can make it.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing perspective, one that you can speak from having lived it, right? And there's a big difference between the sympathizing and being able to empathize in every life experience. And the two of us have gone through some very strenuous life experiences, and I know that you're on the path to be able to continue to add value to other people. And I mean, add value, that you have a lending ear, you have a kind heart, and you're able to share your experiences and help someone else who is, going through their moment of challenge, of tragedy. You would be able to give them that empathetic ear. So there's something else that you mentioned, and before because at a certain point, Damien, we kind of have to tell people how they can get in touch with you, and I definitely want them to know about that. But you mentioned something before, and I think it's interesting, and I think it makes me reflect on my own, my very first stream of predictable income is what I like to call it. And that was I bought a duplex back in 2013, right? So
I remember the picture of your duplex.
Yeah, exactly. So
I love it. I love the picture.
So I have this thing, but it's very similar because you mentioned, like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just tired of doing like the theory and thinking about it. I actually needed to take action, right? The James Clear stuff. I needed to be able to take action. And so it took me a long time, but I finally took action on imperfect information, and I didn't really know what I was doing. But because it was a positive outcome financially and emotionally, because I finally had a real something tangible that I could talk about, that led me to want to do more.
Absolutely.
So, and it sounds like you had a very similar experience in that you had some trust, you placed some capital, and you just got the experience. Do you feel like a lot of the reason that you continued to go down that path was because the first experience was so positive and that you just wanted to repeat it? Or were you more in the mindset of, this worked, but how do I make it better already the second time?
I think it was the second answer, because as I mentioned, this is a leap of faith, the first one, because it's like, you don't know what you're doing. Maybe I could have prepared way better, definitely, but we always say that the most difficult is the first deal. The first deal can take a long time to come, but the second one, you reduce again the time. The third one, you reduce the time, and after, it's like, right now, buying some property with investor money or my money, right now it's a process. I analyze the market. I know it's a matter of number. I know exactly at how much I need to buy it and how much renovation I need to put and how much I will sell it. And for me, it's when I send the offer, for me, there is no like emotions. Honestly, this is a business now. It's like, I'm doing it to make it better each time because I have certain KPI that I want to reach. And it's professional now. While at the beginning it was like, you jump and let's see what's going to do. And after, I need to improve it. I love hearing what you're saying now, because it becomes a business. I was talking to a client the other day. It was going through like very early in his business career, and he's also very emotionally attached to the very first property, and at a certain point, it's like, well, yeah, but you also want to be able to build many more assets that are creating predictable income and will allow you to do other things. And so it's a great reminder for me. I love hearing it from you as well, because when we get started, we all go through that real emotional kind of like, oh my gosh, this is the first property I don't want. I remember saying to myself, I'm going to keep this forever. I'm going to keep this forever. And now it's like, okay, I take my kids by and I can show them, but this is like, that's what started. That's what started things. And so I think that's great. I guess just before we start to wrap things up, I definitely want you to tell us what is the best way to contact you. But before that, just the last question that I have before we find out how to contact you is, if you had a moment now to tell your future self something, right? Because I think about this all the time. Like, oh my gosh, if I would have listened to myself like 20 years ago, I'd be here. Actually, I would have done many stuff differently.
Yeah. So we can empathize with it was like before, but now you are where you are and you're much more aware. So just think that 5 years from now, which seems like this whole world could be very different in 5 years, but let's just go 5 years. I wanted to go 10, but let's just go 5 years. What's the message that you want to leave for your future self so that you can listen to this and say, okay, yeah, I was tracking in the right direction? What is that? What message would you like to leave your future self?
For the 20 years myself first, I would have tell him, like, don't waste your money in nightclub. This is not the best investment to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, joke aside.
We can relate.
For the 5 years from now, I think it should be like, you took the right decision. I'm really happy about the path that you took. Keep working like a lot as you're doing, as you always does. And yeah, but stay the foot on the ground, and yeah, be proud of what you do, but never be like satisfied, and keep growing, keep moving ahead.
Awesome. So keep moving, keep your foot on the gas, and we'll check this 5 years from now, because we'll still be doing the podcast, of course. So
yeah, a bit more gray hair for sure, 5 years, but yeah.
It's okay, man. It's okay. I got a lot more here. You can check out the first episodes from here 5 years ago. It's all good. So listen, Damien, you have helped us to really understand more about how you can exceed in corporate and at the same time follow your curiosity, that you are able to, start in one place, start on one continent, move countries, be able to build a career, start in enterprise IT space, let's call it hardware, software. You've had an opportunity to live in Asia, which is amazing, China specifically, able to follow your curiosity, build your family, understand and recognize through the great parts of life and even through tragedies that there are moments in your life where you realize that these things happen for you, and you want to continue to not just focus on being able to generate income, but more importantly, to be able to generate impact and to be able to share what you learn with others so that they can also grow, and so that you can be the person that they reference that says, hey, listen, you know what? Damien cared enough to stop, to invest time with me, to help me move forward and to help me grow. And you've even followed that curiosity all the way to Mexico, where you are now pouring your heart and your soul into making an impact, and also doing that as the founder of VP Wealth and Freedom. And so I'd really love for you to help us understand what is the best way for the Going Long family to find out more about you, to contact you directly, and just so they can find out more about your world.
Yeah, and so regarding the contact, you can go on my LinkedIn page. So Damien Pautot, Damien Pautot, simple as it is. Yeah. And after, you can also send me a message through mail with damien.pautot@vpecorealestate.com. Right. So, and I will reach out to you, and we can discuss anything you want to know about Mexico and Spanish real estate, and especially also sustainability, because this is something that matters to us to have a bigger impact.
All right. Fantastic. And hey, listen, by the way, when you reach out to Damien, make sure that you let him know that you've already invested time and you've listened to him in the episode, and that you want to continue the conversation. It lands so much differently when he already knows that you've invested time. And so basically from that, I just want to say thank you very much to the entire Going Long family for investing your time in today's episode. And also want to say thank you very, very much, Damien, for investing time with me and the entire Going Long family. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Billy. And it was a pleasure and an honor to be with you. And we know we will see each other soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you very much, my friend. Take care.